Episode 6 of the High-Octane Truth. This week, lots going on as usual. The LA Auto Show, the NASCAR chase for the championship finally comes to an excruciating end. Let me talk about that for a moment. You know, here's the deal with NASCAR. I openly admit I'm NASCAR's biggest critic. I'm not a critic of the drivers and teams and crews because they're tremendously talented, some of the most talented people in racing in the world. Don't believe me? You can ask around, but in that NASCAR garage is, you know, some of the top people in the racing business. And but I always differentiate between those people and the people at the top who run NASCAR, the powers that be in Daytona Beach and Charlotte, who absolutely insist that they are always right, that they know what's best for them, and know what's best for the series, know what's best for their competitors and their team owners, and it's just a bunch of bullshit. Here's the deal. NASCAR has been oversaturated for 8 years now. Too many races, too much content, too many repeat visits to the same tracks. It just, you know, it boggles the mind. The schedule's too long. They won't make any changes. What do? They come up with a gimmickry bullshit like the chase for the Sprint Cup Championship, which, by the way, the finale in Homestead Miami Speedway this weekend, 3 of the top race winners of the season are not eligible to run for their championship. I mean, there is no analogy in stick and ball sports world. You know, Brian France is obsessed with, well, we need to create drama of a 7-game series, blah, blah, frickety blah. It's irrelevant. This is racing. This isn't stick and ball sports. There's no comparison. So here we are with Joey Logano with 6 wins, Jimmy Johnson with 5 wins, and Matt Kenseth with 5 wins, none of whom are eligible to run for the championship. As I suggested in my column this week, which I repeated because it bears repeating, the only people who should be eligible to run for the championship are people with race wins. It'd be real simple. But NASCAR insists on this convoluted, gimmicky chase, this knockout round bullshit. It just doesn't make any sense. So now you have a finale in Homestead, Miami, with 4 drivers eligible, but, you know, a lot of top drivers ineligible. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, you know, so if you want to go there, you know, the analogy of stick and ball sports, it's like if 2 of the top or 3 or 4 NFL teams just weren't part of the playoffs because, well, you know, it just isn't the way it works. It's just ridiculous. You know, NASCAR has too many races. They've got 36 weekends. I've recommended all sorts of scenarios to cut that schedule down. It should be 30 weekends, period. 3 10-race segments. If NASCAR could only step back from themselves and, you know, their aura of invincibility and their marketing genius, you know, view of the world, they'd realize that, hey, this ain't working. The only thing that's propping up NASCAR right now are the television networks who are so with the insatiable need of content that they keep signing up for these races. Why do you think you watch Xfinity races when there's nobody in the stands? Because the TV contracts allow it to continue. Now look, I'm a big fan of a lot of the NASCAR drivers. As I said earlier, they are top-notch. Utmost respect for them. Utmost respect for them, the technicians, the aerodynamicists, the chassis experts, the team owners. These people are top-notch. This isn't about or against them. It's against the way NASCAR continues to do the same old shit over and over and over again. It's the very definition of insanity. So my solution is fewer races, bring the specialness back to NASCAR. When you have a race every damn week, who gives a shit? I mean, if you're going to the same tracks every 6 weeks, i.e. Pocono and Michigan International Speedway, where's the specialness? Where is the, the destination viewing? You have to see it. You don't have to see it. You don't have to go. You don't have to go fight traffic. You don't have to pay big ticket prices because, it's on TV. So, okay, like I said, the networks have insatiable need for content. So that's why you see Xfinity races being conducted in a vacuum of empty grandstands. What the hell? Listen, the problem fundamentally here is this. The NASCAR community have benefited greatly from the almighty NASCAR. Go to Charlotte, beautiful town. Love the area, everything about it. The standard of living has been elevated unbelievably in the last 15 years in Charlotte. I mean, and so naturally, the drivers, frankly, have been beaten down. It's not a value-added activity for them to criticize NASCAR. When they do, they get taken out. They get taken to the woodshed, warned, finger point in the chest, don't do that, you ruin it for everybody. Well, that bullshit has to stop. Because if I'm a NASCAR driver and I've got 2 or 3 wins and I'm not running for the championship this weekend, I am pissed off. And I don't understand why these NASCAR drivers don't finally say, you know what, time out here. Enough is enough. We base the series around the cult of personality, which, by the way, doesn't always sit well with the manufacturers, but who's kidding whom here? It's about the drivers, then the sponsors, then the manufacturers. Oh yeah, by the way, my Ford run real good today. I cannot abide the fact that these drivers are sitting there letting NASCAR dictate to them. Yes, I understand. Yeah, their standard of living is awesome. They fly in, fly out. I mean, this is a great thing. It's a 36 race death march of a schedule that should not exist in its current construct. It shouldn't be this way. Cut the races, cut the repeat visits to the same tracks, make NASCAR special again. And the drivers, come on, man, say something. The one guy who spoke up, and every time he speaks, the guy is a bright guy and he has something to say. Actually, 2 guys, Kevin Harvick and Brad Keselowski. These guys are bright guys and they think. They take the long view. They understand that you can't keep doing what they're doing and expect it to get better, because it will not. You have your championship at Homestead Miami Speedway, and you're not going to have the top drivers running for it, the top drivers with the most wins. It's absurd. And, but, okay, Chairman Bryan has spoken, and this is how we're going to do it. Well, it's just unmitigated bullshit, folks. And for the NASCAR drivers who are in this and they're not happy about it, you only have yourself to blame. You have to speak up. And the beat reporters covering NASCAR, I mean, I read them all the time. You can even tell that they're just kind of like, this is craziness. So, enough about that. Shorten schedule. I recommend 30 race weekends, period. End of story. Figure it out. I don't want to hear about, oh, well, we have all kinds of races and long-standing relationships with track owners. Oh, come on. I mean, International Speedway Corporation owns most of the tracks, and Speedway Motorsports owns the tracks they don't own. So don't tell me about, oh, we have long-standing relationships that we have to protect. But it's bullshit. It should be a 30-race season, 10 race segments, 3 of them. Get it done. And make the championship reflect the top driving talent. Quit messing around. You look ridiculous. You look ridiculous. I mean, let's face it, in the stick and ball sports world, yeah, NASCAR is the only racing in the US that exists. Okay. But, you know, it invites scrutiny. Why? Because, you know, normally a stick and ball reporter is going to say, well, wait a minute, you have your championship, but you've got 3 drivers with 16 wins and they're not running. It's nonsensical. The people at Daytona Beach have to get their heads out of their asses, step back out of their vacuum of brilliance that they seem to operate in, you know, because everything they come up with is a great idea. Every marketing strategy, every sponsor come on, every business-to-business deal is, oh, it's great, it's great, it's great. No, it isn't. You can be better. And the drivers in NASCAR are the ones that have to take this upon themselves. And the team owners. You don't just go along to get along. Those days are over. If NASCAR wants to keep doing this descending spiral into decreasing attendance, decreasing TV ratings, you know, I guess go ahead. But it's not what you should be doing. And you know it. And there's some bright guys in that NASCAR garage, bright women, they know better. It cannot continue. It's just absurd. Enough about NASCAR. It just drives me freaking crazy. It's so much available there to make better, and then just unbelievable, just coming up short every freaking day. Well, we've always done it this way. It doesn't matter. We've always done it this way is not an operating business principle. It is with NASCAR, but it's bullshit and it has to stop. All right, LA Auto Show. You know, my column this week is about selling air in LA. I've been in and around the marketing business my whole career. Much of what goes on is selling air. It's making vaporware and then selling it. It's researching air, talking about air, doing advertising about air. Much of it is meaningless bullshit. You know, and the problem with the LA Auto Show is this. They're showing cars and vehicles and talking about all the wonderfulness at the LA Auto Show. They're talking about cars that won't come out till next summer. Or in Sergio frickin' Marchionne's case, the Alpha Giulia, which, believe me, there's a real shot you will never see that car and see the light of day. And if you do, you'll see it in 2017 sometime here in this market. I mean, what the hell? Besides the fact it's a blatant copy of a BMW M3 sedan. I mean, just blatant. And they're saying, oh no, it has, you know, overtones of legendary Alphas. Oh, give me a frickin' break. It's just total horseshit. Oh, and then Sergio's going to show a new 124 Spider based on a Miata. Hella frickin' Leah. When will you see that? Who knows? Is it something that the Fiat dealers need? Oh, hell no. They don't need another niche little car that they can't frickin' sell. The 500L is piling up like cordwood, despite the Pope driving around like, who gives a shit? And the 500, you know, the little car that couldn't, is piling up like cordwood too. Why? Because they have the 500X in the showroom, and it's the only thing worthwhile that they can sell. And it's cannibalizing from those other 2 products. And now they're going to introduce a Fiat 124 Spider into the mix? For what? So if you enthusiasts can get their rocks off, yeah, great. If I'm an FCA dealer, I am just absolutely apoplectic at this juncture because you can see the end game here. The end game isn't pretty. Sergio and his espresso swilling minions aren't getting it done. They don't have an advanced technology platform, and they don't have anywhere to get it. They don't have the product mix. Alpha is a joke. It's dead in the water. Yeah, I mean, the 4C, yeah, lovely little car. Who gives a shit? It's not going to say, it's not something that an Alpha dealer can put a stake in the ground and say, oh yeah, I'm going to make it really well now. No, it's not happening. Alpha's dead in the water. It's a complete figment of the great Sergio's imagination. It's crazy shit. So, you know, that's what's going on in LA. Selling air. Oh, here's our car. Oh, by the way, you won't see it till, you know, don't worry about that. No. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. You'll see it eventually. And if something happens and doesn't, well, you know, shit happens. Whatever. Drives me crazy. My buddy Eric Tricko will be back the next episode, and we'll talk about the LA show. I'm not seeing any earth-shattering stuff there. I don't give a shit about the Fiat 124, and I'm sure the assembled journalists will just say, oh, it's the second coming of fun, whatever the bullshit they come up with, because you know what? There's some really respected journalists in the automotive field, but most of them are just too fucking lazy to do anything, and they'll just write what they're told and be done. Get their free crab roll and move on. I'm not buying that bullshit, never have. So, you know, read all you want about LA and how all the wonderfulness and blah, blah, blah. But take a step back, read my column. It's selling air, folks. It's like it doesn't exist, but we're going to market it and advertise it and sell it as if it does exist. It's craziness, but that's the business. Whatever. Anyway, that's the High-Octane Truth number 6. I hope you love it. If you don't, I don't really care. This is all a day-to-day thing here. I don't know how much longer I'll do it. You know, that said about NASCAR, good luck to everyone in Homestead, Miami with the rain forecast, because that doesn't look good. I don't have any favorites. Just hope it's a safe race and the season comes to a merciful conclusion. The worst schedule in all of sport. And that's saying something when you have the ludicrous NBA schedule and the ludicrous NHL schedule, who basically play, you know, 2/3 of their season for nothing and then add a bunch for the playoffs. It's just ridiculous. But believe me, 36 race weekends at NASCAR, that's some ridiculous shit. Anyway, that's the High-Octane Truth for this week. Glad you could stop by. We'll maybe see you down the road somewhere. Adios.